Welcome back everyone to more career mode gameplay of SRX, the game. And in today's video we're headed to Jacobs County for the third and final exhibition race for our initial partial season. But first, you can see in the bottom right hand corner we've got some things to take care of. And this is where the parts we decide to upgrade our car with will really start to matter. So if we hop over to the garage, you notice that everything is either worn out or very close to it. Poor condition or completely worn out. Now obviously the tires, you would expect them to be worn out. They're not intended to last very long. But this is going to cost us money. You can see in the top right hand corner, $1,897. So we don't have a whole lot of money to spend, but you can see as I scroll down through here, if you look to the left hand side of the screen, like right now on the left hand side it says engine, and then right below that we have for A, we can buy, sell, and install the engine, but X, we can repair the engine for $132. And then as I scroll down, you can see the amounts for each of our components. So it's going to take some money. Now we could say, let's just not worry about them whatsoever. Let's just take the performance hit right now and save our money so that we can upgrade later. Because at the end of this race, once we get into our full season, remember, we're going to have a sponsor. I have no idea how much money the sponsor is going to give us or how that's all going to work out, but we should have more money and an opportunity to upgrade some components. So it's definitely in our best interest to save our money right now. However, I am going to go ahead and do these durability repairs for the time being, simply because I don't know how this is going to work out and how much it's going to affect our performance. I mean, come on, it can't affect it too much because we're already terrible. You can see it's 3 out of 8 in the bottom left hand corner as opposed to 8 out of 8. But let's go ahead and do the repairs so we can at least give ourselves the best shot possible. And we're going to hope that race number 3 goes better than race number 2. So let's go ahead and repair. So it's more money certainly than I want to spend. But some of these parts will be with us for quite a while because we're going to need a lot of money before we can do any meaningful upgrades. So right now that gets us back to 8 out of 8. And again, right now, we'll see how things go once we get our sponsor money and get into our full season. But right now, I'm thinking the tires are going to be the first thing we're going to upgrade simply because of cost. But as always, we'll see how that goes. We're trying to get the best bang for our buck right now. So next event, looks like everything is ready to go. So Jacobs County, 1/3 mile. It says medium banking, so that means it should have some banking. Maybe we can get up some momentum. And that will give us a little better opportunity, but the main event is 40 laps, and that is very much something I'm looking forward to if we can manage to scratch and claw our way into the A main. Practice and qualifying in the books, and 37th position. So the fact that we're in heat number 1, don't let that excite you too much because we are well off the pace. But I must say, if we look at the bottom of the screen, car setup 37% loose, that is probably about the best I'm going to get given the current level of performance for our car. The car doesn't drive too badly. Again, we're just well off the pace, and the car certainly slides around more than I would want it to. But again, we don't have the overall grip to make it do the things I want to do. Now, Jacobs County, for those of you who have played the previous Tony Stewart games, is a track that is very prevalent in those games. In fact, if I remember correctly, I was doing some very fun races here in the 410s in the very first game. You want to talk about fast. The 410s with the wings, extremely fast at this track. Not so much here today with the 305 non-wing version, but you see at the top left-hand corner, goal time 12.77. We're nowhere near that. With our lap, again, I only ran 2, 3, maybe even 4 laps at the most, but enough to see kind of how the car was going to handle, and that's pretty much all I needed from that. Qualifying a little bit better at a 13:39, but again, still well off the pace and toward the back. But remember, where we really find out what we've got in relation to the other cars is when we get into the B main, assuming we can't figure out some way to make it to the A main directly.
Right up, the top 3 advance directly to the A main. Good luck.
All right, that's right. He keeps reminding us top 5 advance directly to the A main. And if there's some way we can make it in there. All right, let's see what we've got. So here, I don't really expect to do a whole lot, as we've talked about in previous races. Not with where we are right now as a team. But how close we're able to stick to these guys in front of us will tell me a little bit about what kind of chances we should have when we get to the B main. So yeah, right now the car just doesn't have any grip. And of course we already know we don't have any horsepower, but the grip is what's really got me because I can't put the car where I want to. We're just spinning the tires regardless of what I do, that kind of thing. But this really doesn't aggravate me at all. This is just performance of the car is all this is. We just don't have the speed for that reason. This, from my perspective, is where you just got to ride it out. This is what having a brand new team and no performance is like. All right, so these guys have caught us at the front of the field, so I'm going to try to give them plenty of room at the bottom of the track. I'm just going to give them some room for the last few laps here. And again, as we talked about in the very first video, I mean, sometimes you're just a moving chicane because you're not even fast enough to get out of the way. And that is not a fun place to be as a driver. Again, I've moved to the high side, trying to get sort of out of the way of these guys as best I can anyway. Okay, 10th position, not unexpected. But now the question is, what can we do in the B main? So as we head back to the garage area, I'm not going to make any change to the setup we're using. It's very tempting to do so, but I don't know that it's going to make all that big of a difference anyway. So I really want to find out. The B main is going to tell us what kind of speed we actually have compared to those at the back of the field.
B main, where the top 5 finishers all advance to the A main. Good luck out there.
All right, here we go. The LCQ. So in our first exhibition race, we did good in the B main. The second one, not so much. Now here in the third one, let's see. Woo, look at these guys. We're 3 wide there for a little bit. And of course, without any spotter, I had no idea. I can only see a little bit in front of us with our virtual mirror. All right, I did see that guy coming up to our inside, and so I gave him some room. So I'm trying to dig on this bottom. Really do not want to finish last. Trying everything I can to make up at least a few positions, if at all possible. But that is proving to be quite a struggle. I've tried running a little bit more toward the middle of the track, and definitely the upper part of the track we're just too slow there. So I'm trying to hook this bottom, but of course that means changing the driving style a little bit, and so far that is not working out to our advantage. I just cannot get to this guy in front of us. But trying to pass this guy for 18th feels like trying to pass for a lead. So if I move up the track a little bit and try to run a similar line to these guys, let's give it a shot. Yeah, the back end's just swinging out too much. I mean, you expect to turn to the right some. That just makes sense, especially if you're on the right part of the track. But the back end's just kicking out too much, and I just can't get the grip I need to get any sort of speed. All right, we got a decent run on him there. Can I get to his inside? Trying to give him some room. Woo, that was tight. All right, now we got to hold that. We actually made a pass, and that has me very excited. Got a little bit of a rhythm going here. All right, so we're a little over halfway through this B main, and for us, our main event, because we need to be in the top 5 to advance on to the A main, and we are not anywhere close to that right now. So, of course, you can easily run this thing wide open the entirety of the track without any issues. Very easily, but that's not really the fastest way because you need to hit your marks, get on the line you want to be on. So it's not as simple as just hold the throttle down and say whatever happens, happens. That's not always going to be your best bet as far as speed. That's why you got multiple pedals down there. Use them to try to make speed as best you can. It always sounds cool when you say I was running wide open the entire time. It doesn't necessarily mean that you were the fastest that way. Alright, right now I am quite focused on trying to catch this car in front of us for 17th. But the worrisome thing is I know the leaders are coming. They may be immediately behind me now. I don't know. In fact, yes, it's exactly where they were. I knew they'd be coming though, because we're getting toward the end of the race, the last few laps. Okay, yep, here they come. Right, so there's the top 3. And these guys take no prisoners. I mean, in practice a while ago, I nearly got ran over by a car. So, yeah, these guys, when there's a groove they want, they just take it. So I'm trying to give them some room right now. All right, so there you have it. 18th position, not quite what we might have hoped for, but we'll take it. We did not finish last, and that is our #1 goal right now. And just think, as we get a little bit farther along in this series, we'll be looking back on these times and remembering them fondly, and laughing about the times that we were just trying not to finish dead last. All right, so final results today. And while I'm thinking about it, hopefully you guys saw the very end of the previous video. I had thought that our money was going to pop up before we got to the screen we're on right now. It did not. It's actually the screen right after this. So I did include that at the very end of our previous video to let you know how much money we made. But 38th position overall in the race weekend for us, of course, 40 cars being the total field. 28th overall in the season after 3 of 3 events. So overall, that was pretty fun. Obviously, it never extremely fun to finish at the very back of the field, but you have to understand this is all part of the process of the career mode, starting from the back, working your way forward, improving your stuff along the way. It's quite a bit of fun for me, that's for sure. And if you're looking for a different experience where maybe you don't start quite so low, then simply lower the AI difficulty, and that'll have you running up closer to the front or in front, depending on how much you want to lower it. So there's very much a choose your own adventure aspect to this, even though the game is designed a certain way. By all means, play the game the way that is most fun for you. So today, now that I know exactly where that screen is, we will end today's video on the race earnings screen. $932 overall, so that $10 of merch sold. If you've been with me for previous Tony Stewart games or the NASCAR Heat Series, you know that $10 is a monumentous occasion for us to get $10 worth of merch. That means we sold a t-shirt. Somebody came by and bought a t-shirt from our tent, and we greatly appreciate whoever bought that t-shirt, and we look forward to selling a lot more t-shirts in the future. So that's going to do it for today. $932 down and the final exhibition race under our belts. Thank you so much for joining me, and stick around for more SRX, the game.